This show brought to you by the Entertainment Radio Network and presented in part by Craftsman. Trust in your hands.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna beat me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna beat me down.
Welcome back. It's Motor Trend Radio today. Cars and Cappuccino because of Fiat. Thanks to our friends at Fiat. I just bought a new Fiat 500 Abarth. Hard T, soft A. It's not Abarth. It's Carl Abarth, so it's a person's name. You don't want to botch it up. We are at the Laguna Seca Golf Ranch for the Concorso Italiano. I'm Alan Taylor. Dick Messer joining us, as normal. Fiat just announced another vehicle to the incredible return to the U.S. with their brands. I mean, when you get a car guy like me to buy one, you must be doing something right. Tom Kuniskis, he is the head of Fiat North America, joining us. Also, Matt Davis, head of Fiat Product Marketing. You guys, fabulous. My wife loves the car. She stole it from me. I just bought a car for her 4 months ago, a big SUV, because we have 4 kids, and guess what? She sold it to my sister after 4 months of owning it because I brought home a Fiat 500 Abarth. And she says, this is mine. It's it. It's over with. Don't just get your grubby hands off of it. I know everything about the Abarth is just beefier. Suspension-wise, it's 160 horsepower. It's got handling package. It's got different look to it, different seats, just all the way around a cooler-looking car, to me, than the one that is just the standard one. I had to have it.
Yeah, it's a completely different car. People always say, what's different about this from the standard 500?
Yeah.
And the only thing that's the same is the sheet metal.
Right.
Everything else has changed. The complete powertrain, the transmission, the suspension, the exhaust, the interior, everything but the sheet metal has been changed.
And I bought it in Santa Monica, California, of which I literally had to fight it out of the guy's hands. Even though Fiat North America calls this, you got to make sure you have one for this guy. He's coming down to buy it because I don't live in California. I live in Oregon. I work in California. And they had it like hidden behind around back. The things are selling like crazy. You don't call them a dealership. You call it a studio. And it was a little boutique kind of flavored, small little, very intimate place where, one-on-one, they really take good care of you there.
Well, that's part of the marketing, Alan. They do. There was a requirement to be a dealer that you had to set aside a separate show area, a separate building actually to sell the car out of.
Yeah, we could have put the car in with our Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram showrooms, but it would have been the wrong experience for this customer.
I agree.
So having a separate studio for that customer, we think is perfect because it's a totally different buying experience. And I love your story about your wife, by the way, because that is the absolute case study of what we're seeing.
I thought I'd get her to drive a standard transmission.
Well, the backstory is this thing's a little rocket ship.
It is.
It is a little. I got to drive the car before he took it home.
Yeah.
And it is a little rocket
I kept telling him, I go, nail it, man, nail it. And he's like, no, I'm in the city. I go, nail it. That's
all of a
what's good
sudden
about
we're doing 85 down Wilshire Boulevard, in second gear.
Do you guys hear the Jay Leno story about it's more fun to drive a slow car? Not that it's a slow car, it's a fast car, but it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow.
There you go. Exactly.
Absolutely true.
Exactly.
Absolutely true.
So, Tim, you guys just announced a new light pressure turbo that is not an Abarth, but has kind of the flavor, the look of it. It is turbocharged versus the naturally aspirated standard Fiat 500. And so, tell us about it real quick.
So we're really excited about this car. We think this is really the sweet spot of the 500 lineup. We call it an Abarth wrapped in the traditional 500 package.
Yep.
It's for the guy who's looking at our complete lineup. And we'll have 9 models by the end of this year. He was looking at our complete lineup saying, I love the 500. It's got the style, design, the value that I'm looking for, but 101 horsepower really it's not enough for me. I want something more for my daily drive.
Right.
Look at the Abarth that you have, and he says, man, I love that. That's something that I could have a lot of fun with, but, maybe that's a little bit too much for my daily commute. But I want that power. I want that performance. So we took that soul and we put it in a regular 500, smooth, compliant suspension, a little bit quieter, but 150 pound-feet of torque, so you can have an absolute blast driving the car.
Yeah, so my car has a sport button, which when you push that, it changes the dynamic of the car. A little more boost in the turbo.
So a lot of sport buttons, you push them, they don't do that much. Now,
right.
On your car, it changes it radically. You go from 150 pound-feet of torque, you push the sport button, you go up almost to 180 pound-feet of torque.
And it's
totally changes the car.
Torque is what jerks your head back in the seat when somebody takes off and goes.
Now, when we're talking horsepower, people listening to this say, 180 pounds of pounds of torque or 150 horsepower. This is a little light car. I mean, this is relative honestly speaking, that's a lot of horsepower.
Hang with us for 1 second. I want to finish telling about this new car you just unveiled. It's Motor Trend Radio. We're here on the field, on the grass with Italian cars. We'll be right back.